At the stage. All right, now I should be able to hear it here. There we go. So this video I just saw pop up on my feed from the civil rights lawyer. He's helping the guys who's doing the whole Lego situation. And I was like, hey, I might as well go live real quick and see how he's helping them out. The civil rights lawyer, big respect to him. He does a lot of really good work. And I suggest that if you're looking for a channel where you see the negative side of police and you see what kind of work has to be done to help people through all that and how it's done, really, I'd say the civil rights lawyer is your best resource there. Turn this down just in case it's too loud for y'all.
For what?
Did you run a stop sign?
I mean, it's up to you to see. I played the dash cam footage in the video. So from my point of view, it looks like we stopped for at least like 2 seconds. We made sure to follow every law.
How's it going?
How's it going? I'm Officer Hawkins, American Fork Police Department. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Well, what's your name? Are you Ben?
Hundreds or maybe thousands of you have reached out to me about covering the Reckless Ben Lego videos. Basically, he's a YouTuber who made a video about a stolen Lego collection that ended with a bunch of crazy police interactions in this small town in Utah where the American Fork Police Department did some pretty wild things.
Search warrant. Stand up. Step outside, everybody. No. Don't move.
This is the story of how I got swatted.
So if you have seen Asmongold's reaction to it, Nuxno's reaction to it, I think someone else did as well. It might be Tectone, but what's going on here is there's kind of, I guess you could almost call it like corporate espionage kind of stuff going on. There's some clear violations of the let's see, you have the letter of the law, then you have the kind of heart of the law, the point of the law. There's some clear violations of these where the trust of not only the customer, but the trust of the person whose property is being sold and whose business is now being picked up from the last person. There's absolutely no trust there. And there's absolute violations of civility, of constitutional law by the actions of these officers. And I would almost say a violation of the First Amendment when it comes to religious practice, because a lot of these people just so happen to all be Mormon and just so happen to all go to the same Mormon church, or what you want to call their cultist meeting place. Their interactions and connections to all these things are very questionable, and their behavior towards these people who are assisting this person to get their property back because it was under a contract which is no longer valid because it changed business holders. So as the contract is no longer valid, their property needs to be returned. But that new business person who took the new business, all of the product in the store is part of that contract. So if they were to give up all the product in that store, they would have to lose every possible amount of business they could serve. They don't have the means to serve the customer. But the point isn't that, oh, well, it'll be a hardship on you to return the goods to the person it belongs to. That's never in question. That's never considered in court, rightfully so. It doesn't matter if it's going to hurt your business. That's not your property. You don't get to sell it. But the police and the person in charge of that, and newly in charge of that business and such, being connected to the Mormon church, supposedly also that group being very much funding pretty much that police station. Just fraud and corruption like there are in many, many police departments, which is personally why I would also suggest, if you were going to go anywhere to listen about corruption in police departments, go to Detective Matt on YouTube. He does a great job. He also has an Instagram. And, oh man, what's his name? Oh boy. I want to say his name has the word Liz in it. Officer, maybe? Does it go by Officer Liz? Izo. Izo. That's his name. Like John Izo or something? It's been a little while. Not John. There we go. Dominic Izo. Go with Dominic Izo or Detective Matt Thornton. Thornton. Detective Matt, M-A-T-T, Thornton. That's the last name. He also explains a lot about the corruption of police and police forces and the failures to properly know the law and to properly enforce the law and protect the Constitution. This, I think, will be a case they're definitely going to want to talk about because this is a great example of the kinds of things that they, like Dominic particularly, was the victim of. Failure of the police department, corruption in the police department that kicked him out of being an officer. And then for Detective Matt, he was an officer for 20 years, and so he knows all these different corrupt officers and has even been put for police training videos, using his videos to train officers on what to do and not to do. So they're really good resources when it comes to officers who violate the law. And then back to this video, it's a really encouraging that the self-defense law, if I can move my little image there. There we go. And let me, no. Okay, let me shrink myself down here. There we go. And, ooh, wow, that's not what I wanted to do at all. Aha! Let me just shrink myself down here. Can I grab a hold? There we go. No, okay, so I can't move myself around it. That's strange. Aha, okay. Then I'll shrink myself down. There we go. All right. So, this civil rights lawyer, I was saying that it's very encouraging that he is doing what he can to assist them. Because if anyone, I would say, you'd want to hear from about this whole situation, it's a civil rights lawyer. Because he's the one who's going to have all the knowledge and means to assist them and what else to pursue and who to pursue. Great resource, and I'm glad now they have someone in their pocket for that resource.
All because of Legos. The whole thing started with me investigating a Lego company called Bricks and Minifigs. The company sent two guys to steal the world's largest Star Wars Lego collection worth around $200,000. And for some reason, the police are helping them get away with it. The family reached out to me saying that I'm their last hope to get them their life savings back.
I'm just going to scare them a little bit and let them go is all I really was going to do.
Do we have charges, or are we just tired of them being annoying?
Man.
Yeah, that should never be a question for police officers. If it is, then what puts into question is their validity as officers. If it's ever a question, oh, are they just being annoying, or do we actually have something to arrest them for? Like, are we just going to, throw our weight around, misuse our authority, or are we actually going to get them for something that's actually legal? That's pretty much what they were talking about there, trying to discuss between each other. And for me, that kind of heats up the kind of the justice engine, or you want to call it, where it gets me very hot-blooded. And just like how treason, you'd want execution, capital, you go through the whole process of getting them arrested, you go through the evidence and all that. That's how I feel about officers who purposefully violate the law, who purposefully go against the very basis of their duty. You have made an enemy not only of the people, but you have made an absolute and utter mockery of justice and enforcement of the law. And that should be how that should be responded to, in my opinion, should be with extreme prejudice. Like that happens, and the judge just like stares at him with bloodshot eyes and is like, "Oh heck no, you didn't," kind of thing, you know. So that's how I think when it comes to the officer's failures in this situations like it. To me, it's utterly unacceptable.
Utah. It's good. Like it?
Instead of helping to get justice for the rightful owners of this stolen Lego collection, this police department instead helped protect the company accused of stealing the collection. And by protect, I'm talking about illegal traffic stops, illegal searches, illegal seizures, false arrests, malicious prosecutions, and more.
Unlawful detainments, questioning without proper interrogation, without representation, or without a lawyer present. Now, I don't know if they requested a lawyer. Then you have to add, rejection of supplying a lawyer, because if they said, "I'm not going to answer questions unless I have a lawyer," and they don't provide one, that's another charge. And that's not just like, "Oh, well, that would be the leader of the police who should be held accountable." No, every single officer involved in this, and every officer who knew about it and did nothing while those guys were in jail, all of them. What if that's the whole department? Then the whole department gets burned. Not literally, obviously, but as in a form of figurative, where there wouldn't be any officers in that department anymore. Oh, that's a bad thing. That means they wouldn't have police. Better to have no corrupt officers than to have many who enforce few laws.
Play differently here. Does that make sense? Yeah. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that.
All against
Even the cat was sitting still.
Ben and his friends, apparently while shielding the Lego company from accountability or even criticism. A lot of you were also telling Ben that he needed to reach out to me, so he did. I immediately was intrigued and I wanted to help him. But
I'm glad that when people told him to reach out, they did. This is the one person I like when I direct anyone to anything about civil rights. I'm like, "Hey, go here." There's a few other ones. Was it something law? There's a good few of them that I watch on my non-Cardinal Red Eye, obviously. My personal YouTube channel, I watch a lot of this because, to me, yeah, wars, they're important, sure. They're, they affect us in many ways. But I don't think a war, like the war in Iran and such, will ever affect us as much. Something that we're, fighting way over there, and it'll affect our gas prices and such at most. We obviously won't lose. Our technology is far too impressive. We're literally the world's super ultimate power. We're not even the superpower. We're higher than every other form of wannabe superpower. So whatever we choose to attack, we're probably just going to eliminate quite easily. We don't even need boots on the ground to do it, but just to be nice, we probably put boots on the ground. But anyway, won't affect us as much as officers and judges and prosecutors and attorneys will in this country. So judges that won't enforce justice or who purposefully allow injustice, mass arrest those judges. Officers, same thing. Attorneys, same thing down the line. Mayors, all of it. Mayors who throw their weight around, nope, you no longer deserve your position. You've now proven that you don't, so jail. You were allowed to that position, and you bastardized it. You get held accountable. Full extent of the law. Oh, that sounds very dictatorial. Against evil, be a dictator. That's when you should be a dictator. Absolutely. Being a totalitarian, be authoritarian against evil. Everything else, sure. Go slow and smooth and take it easy. Be more, make it all nice and pretty and formal looking in court and all. But when it comes to some more serious stuff, just need arrest, drag in front of a judge kind of thing. Even if it's a judge that they're dragging in front of another judge.
Before I could do that, I had to understand the facts, everything that happened. I needed to talk to Ben himself. I needed to interview him and get it straight from him and not just his YouTube videos.
The way we have First Amendment freedom of speech is I can say something you don't like, and I'm allowed to do that. So the police officer is arguing exactly against that statement.
Give me the background on how you first found out about this Lego situation and how you got interested in it.
At the end of my last video, I was looking for other videos to do, so I just put a little call to action, like 10 seconds long. Hey, if you have a problem the police can't solve, email me at this email. And then I just like set up a little email, just got literally probably 10,000 emails the next like 2 days. And I was actually
I really would not be surprised if within that 10,000 emails there's a worse situation than this one. I will not be surprised at all. I'll still be pissed about it, but
in line for Burning Man. It was I think a 22-hour line because it started raining at Burning Man. So me and like my 3 friends just all like went through and were like just starring everyone that could like maybe be a cool video idea. And we were looking.
Honestly, I'd say the ones that don't seem like a cool video idea, send them to the civil rights lawyer. Let him take a look at them. See if he wants to pursue any of them. Obviously, he's a good resource who wants to pursue justice. So go ahead, you know. And there's this big problem where people think, oh, if you talk about pursuing justice, if you talk about justice and all this sort of stuff, like it's somehow fictional. Like there's this fictional perception of what justice is. It's like there's a basis for justice. There's a basis for righteousness. And it can be enforced, and it should be enforced. But it's not. Because there are those who don't enforce it. And for some reason, we don't enforce it on those who don't.
For a video that was more family friendly because a lot of my videos get.
If Rubio said something to the effect of all the activist judges, all the attorney generals, all of the prosecutors, state prosecutors, every police department, lawyer, FBI agent, everything. They mentioned every form of position of authority that allows for enforcement of law and pursuit of justice, which would include judges and lawyers and prosecutors. If they said, we will be investigating all of them, and like run on that on his campaign, an absolute audit of enforcement of laws and proper pursuit of justice, I mean, he's got my vote. Even if he said something like, but we're going to, let's see, something that I would want to happen that he wouldn't like, that he would say that he doesn't want to do. But we are not going to pursue any audits of mosques or any Muslim, anything to do with Islam. We're not going to pursue any auditing of that, but we are going to pursue auditing of these justice systems and such. I'd still vote for him because I'm like, okay, because that's something that can be handled later. The next guy can fix that. You, however, I want to fix this problem with. And to me, those two are the biggest issues because I think mosques should be audited. Because what I think you'll find is if you have agents in the mosque listening to what's being preached, and you have people who's auditing and checking the entire mosque, you will always find explosives and firearms. You will always find terrorist training rhetoric in every mosque. I'm absolutely 100% sure about that, but they just haven't done it yet. Biden's FBI were looking in on Catholics. Yeah, well, Rubio's FBI needs to be looking into mosques and DOJ and DHS and the rest.
Get taken down or shadow banned and like age restricted because we're talking about like we're trying to take down people that like torture people or that like abuse people, you know, like really kind of not YouTube friendly stuff. So then we see this insane story and it's about Legos and we're like, oh, that's family friendly. This is crazy. It seemed like there was such an easy solution. Just give the Legos back. And it's like very easy to understand. This company stole the little guy's Legos, but they're coming up with legal loopholes in order to like keep it, I guess. And in a lot of my videos, I've always come up with like legal loopholes to do good things. It seems like this company was using legal loopholes to do bad things. So I was like, this is kind of like the perfect like battle, you know, like legal loopholes for good versus legal loopholes for bad. That'll make an interesting video. And it's about something family friendly, Lego, something everyone can understand. Like, seems like the perfect video, you know? So I just got on a call with them. And that was like the first 5 minutes of the video was that Zoom call. Like that was my first time talking to them. And
all those vintage Star Wars sets you have in there are ours. I have a contract. I have photo evidence, video evidence. Like that is our collection.
Just told me the story. And I was like, this is insane. Like, let's do it. And so I just drove up like the next week and
What started off for him being a simple video, he thought it was just going to be going, "Hey, I heard that some of my friends' property is here. Oh yeah, well we had a contract with him and it didn't. It fell through, and that's probably what he assumed was going to happen. They were going to try to like explain it away."
I mean, you saw the rest in the video, I guess.
What was the underlying story about how this Lego collection was stolen?
Basically, in the email, he says, my dad invested basically his life savings and a good portion of his life into collecting what's now known as the world's biggest Star Wars Lego collection. And he's in terrible health. So I kind of took over. I'm the son. I took over his collection. I was responsible for selling it. So we went to Bricks and Minifigs because they're the most reputable Lego reseller in the entire world. So out of all the places that could resell the Legos, Bricks and Minifigs has the best credibility. So he's like, let's take
Until now,
it there. Like, let's do it. And
because that one shop has now forever damaged. Like, here's the thing: they'll probably try to blame him for it, but that's not true. He's not at fault. The people in charge of that business, that's what forever damaged Minifigures' reputation, not him. Investigating the problem isn't the one who's at fault for the problem. The problem being there is, well,
he said at first it actually went pretty well. They were doing a sale, like a split. So every time a Lego set gets sold, he gets a percentage, or the store gets a percentage, but then he gets a bigger percentage. And in the
title to merchandise, consignment merchandise shall remain the property of Mansell until sold. Proceeds of sales, bricks will be. It is agreed between Bricks and Mansell that with respect to the proceeds obtained from forfeited layaway deposits or proceeds generated from gift cards, store credit, or trade ends collectively alternative from forfeited alternative compensation will be due and pay 6 months following the date of Bricks receipt of the alternative compensation. Bricks shall keep accurate records recording the
contract,
pretty airtight.
You can see that the Legos are still his, so they're not the.
Unless there's a like fourth section that says something about if the contract becomes void, then if the given product is more than certain percentage of the store's sellable merchandise, then that merchandise is kept at the store, but the store must pay him for that merchandise. Unless there's a fourth section or clause in there for that. That's what I would expect to probably be like a fourth or additional section, because that's usually how it would go. It's like, well, if what you've given us is so much, especially in this case, they would obviously write it up that way, is so much that if we were to just give it all back to you, we'd lose all possible product for selling. So what instead we'd do is we would give you a fair price for each thing what we're selling it for, and then give you the money for what we're selling it for. Basically pay you off. We're pretty much buying all that product from you to now sell.
Store's Legos, they're his Legos, but for thank you for like selling them for him, he gives the store a percentage for doing the sale. So he's like, then all of a sudden these corporate people come over, and he didn't really know why they took over the store. We know now, which is they just lied, I guess, and said that she wasn't allowed to do consignments, which actually a couple of days ago, the franchise document leaked that said they are allowed to do consignments.
All right, so I'm not going to watch the whole video. I'm just going to pop on here and share that civil rights lawyer is not working with him, and a little breaking news, I guess you could say. I'm really looking forward to seeing the work civil rights lawyer does for him, because he's had to leave the entire U.S. because those police are so corrupt. They're trying to get him on charges that he's not guilty of, because guess who the prosecutor is prosecuting him for? So not only have they violated the law by false arrest, they're also now violating the law under false charges, pursuit under false pretenses, if you want to call it, if you want like a non-legal terminology, but similar. I'd say this is concerning for him, obviously, but a very good thing because the civil rights lawyer is very familiar with this stuff. And so there's a little breaking news for you. I don't go live often because often my body is kind of falling apart. And I'm going to be moving my desk to a different area where it's cooler because in my upstairs it is crazy hot. So that's definitely going to be changing. After that's all switched up, I will be hopefully still pursuing disability because this is a irritating battle of my own, legal battle. Some hardware upgrades, like a new mic, because this one is very old and is literally a $30 Turtle Beach headset for gaming back in Xbox 360 era headphone. So hopefully we'll get some better audio, and if I do have the money for that, then I'll also pursue an actual VTuber model and such, and try to have my little character over there on the bottom right, and figure out how the heck to do that, obviously, because there's still more tech I got to learn. Not very familiar with all this software. I'm more familiar with computer hardware. Computer software is just where I am. I might as well be a boomer. I have no freaking clue what's going on. So maybe I'll try to communicate with somebody who's familiar with it and they can help me out. Let's see. I will share the link to. In fact, I think I can do this even. Copy. Paste. Send. And then I can. Oh, no, get back here. And then I can pin. Is that pin it? I don't think that pinned it. Ah, here we are. Pin this message. There you go. And it's pinned. So y'all will have that pinned in the comments for anyone who comes back and watches the video, or otherwise this little short live. I'm not sure how to raid other people either, so if like Tectone is live right now, I can't exactly send y'all to him. I know it's only one viewer, but hey, better than nothing. And I appreciate you being here nonetheless, unless literally the viewer is me, which is fine too. I think that's just about everything I want to talk about, where I stand about this, where, what I'm hopeful about with this. And as for an end scene, I had an end scene, but I accidentally just deleted it because I thought, oh wait, this is supposed to be here, delete. And then I just remembered, oh wait, I had made a whole new end stream, animation thing for this. But anyway, hopefully I'll be able to go live sometime soon where I'm not boiling, because it may be 70 outside, but it's 90 upstairs, even if there's not a heater or oven on. So I'm usually melting pretty good. And I don't want y'all to be, dealing with the sound of fans and air conditioners blaring through my microphone until I can, again, get a better microphone and get those silenced out of it. Definitely look into Nux and Asmongold's, Uxanor and Asmongold's review of the two different videos about this situation. This guy right here has done a great job at making a very high quality video. And the commentary from Asmongold, I think, shows that Asmongold has clearly some stuff to learn, because I know he talks about how he doesn't think all police are great and all that, but he's not against police. I'm not either. I just want bad police held accountable, which we don't get. Oh, well, some officers get fired. Not good enough. And I think Nux is a bit more on that side, along with me there. But I don't know. So, I hope you're able to, any new viewers or such, come back and check out the video after this. And I'll see you whenever I see you, whenever I'm able to live stream again.